Today I'm going to be talking about why I think Genshin Impact needs permanent competitive content and how I think it's going to be implemented into the game. We'll take a look at the character grind and how it's currently set up in the reward structure inside the game, and I'm going to be making some comparisons to Honkai Impact 3rd, which is miHoYo's other game, and some of the elements from that game have already come over to Genshin Impact, so I think it's safe to do a bit of a comparison to see what might be in Genshin's future. So right now, currently in Genshin, we do have permanent cooperative content, but it is a bit lackluster, and most of the content that you can do cooperatively is actually much easier to do when you just solo it yourself, because when you do co-op content, you actually have to wait a good bit longer, and the rewards just quite aren't worth it. The incentive just isn't there. So, you've got all these characters in Genshin Impact, and you invest all of this time into upgrading their artifacts, upgrading their weapons, and upgrading their talents, all that jazz. And you put all this time into it, and what's the most difficult content that you actually have to flex these characters on? It's the Spiral Abyss. And not everybody is doing the whole Spiral Abyss, and the whole reward structure for this thing is gated behind the refreshes. And there's only so much Spiral Abyss you can do, and that's really the only top tier content that we have right now to test our characters, and the only reason we have to fully max them out. So here's where Honkai comes into play. Honkai has a couple different ways that you can compete against other players, and it's not real-time player versus player, but it's more of a score-based competitive mode. So we're going to take a look at Honkai's Abyss, for instance, and as you can see, it's actually got a really cool design structure where you get a layout of the point system and where each player stands inside of the point system. Now, based on your performance in this mode, you get ranked, and then you also get rewards for attaining certain ranks or staying at certain ranks. The cool thing about this is it incentivizes you to build your team up and to get better weapons, to build your stigmatas, which are kind of like artifacts, and it gives you just that extra bit of a push to get that extra gear, grind for those characters, because you'll actually be able to perform better, and then the quicker you can defeat this content, the better your score is going to be. So it's like a time-based competition. So it naturally incentivizes you to put more effort into developing characters and building teams and just figuring out how the game works. So I think that kind of player versus player content is going to be implemented into Genshin. I don't think we're going to see real-time player versus player content where you're actually say in an arena setting and battling another player, because then they would have to strip out the refinements and all of that kind of stuff from weapons, because pay-to-win players would have a very clear advantage. Whereas with a time-based leaderboard score system, the advantage is a little bit more hidden, and it seems like it's a bit more fair, and it still gives you that incentivization to actually invest more in the characters. Thanks so much for watching this Genshin Impact video. If you're interested in seeing any of my other informational Genshin Impact content, check out my Genshin Impact playlist. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a great day.